I believe we'll go to Shantan. You had a question, Shantan. I saw your hand go up. Please unmute yourself, Shantan.
Good evening.
Yeah.
I am audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Firstly, it was a great session for any other session. I follow on IWA webinar since lockdown, and I want to share my experience with you on this person with disability days. The thing is that hello.
Yeah, continue, Shantan. We can hear you.
Okay. So I learned so many things from all the webinars, and I was very happy for today, especially George sir and Subramaniam sir are speaking this economy. I want to share something. I was started our online radio since March. RadioLounge.in. This is the first blind radio in West Bengal, in Calcutta based radio.
Okay.
And today we will celebrate also Disability Day on our radio station.
That's great.
Excellent. Yeah.
We try our best and need your support also. And today's session was a very good knowledge for me. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Shantan.
Thank you, Shantan.
Jayant, you have a question? Please go ahead and unmute yourself. Jayant, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, Jayant.
Yeah, so that was a great session hearing both of them, and I just have a different point of view that it was quite difficult for the especially for the person with blindness to go and here and there. So what instant I just came to just think about that the things, if the things can be made more accessible and more free for the or more accessible to the persons with disability, so that can be a better idea, instead of blaming the persons they are not helping, I understand at some point you require help, but if the infrastructure or the other things gets accessible, so I don't think it is very much necessary to take help from a person. So that is one thing. And George, it's a very great thing to hear from you, the cricket thing, that I was also passionate about this cricket. That's a great thing. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayant. Thanks for your comment. Veera Kyathaiya. Sorry, I haven't pronounced the name right. You want to ask a question? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, before you ask a question, you can also mention your name so that we get the correct pronunciation.
Yeah. Please unmute yourself. Veera Kyathaiya, VK. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Okay, let me see if there are any other comments in the meantime.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just questions. If anybody has a view, anybody has a comment, any experience to share, they're welcome to do so.
Hello, yes.
Good evening, madam.
Yeah, good evening. Tell me. Yes, please ask your question.
Abraham, sir. Good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. How
Sir,
are
I'm
you?
calling from Bangalore.
Yes.
Sir, about COVID, I'm speaking, sir.
All right.
We have filed a PIL in our state
Yeah.
as far as visually challenged are concerned.
Yeah.
So nothing has been, for example, it was very difficult for us to go for our offices and all.
Yeah.
So there were no good government orders for us.
Right.
So what would be the suggestion you would guide us, sir?
Your PIL is to do with transportation, is it?
Yeah, transportation and majority of our visual challenge, in Karnataka, work for government and corporations and boards and all.
Yeah.
But we could not go to our offices due to non-availability of transportation.
So is work from home an option that you were offered, or there was no work from home option?
Work from home, some people had. The majority
Yeah.
of us did not have.
Right. Like what I've understood is that in Maharashtra, for example, the visually impaired people working for government have been told that they can stay at home. Those of them who could travel were allowed to travel, but there's a lot of people who could not travel, so they were told to stay at home, and I don't think there was any kind of salary cuts. So I think this is something which you have to, it has to be a kind of interaction with the government. I think a PIL is a good place to start, but I think in your PIL also, when you go in, I think you also need to suggest things like, either work from home or pool, some kind of pooled transportation. Something needs to be done, and I think you have to apply depending on what is the local mode of operating, because solutions which apply in Delhi may not apply in Karnataka. So you'll have to look at what are the options available. Work from home is definitely one option. If you cannot work from home, then I think the government should continue to pay your salaries and allow you to stay at home. Alternately, they should probably provide you with either cab service or something to kind of deal with the situation. Any ideas, Subbu, on this?
Yeah, I feel that work from home option, requesting the work from home option is the best that we can do right now. And what happens is most of the times the concerned authorities are probably not aware. I mean, I know Karnataka pretty well, and I can tell you that sometimes the officials are completely kind of focused on COVID activities, and even a simple request for work from home may not have even reached them. So it's only proper that they bring it to their notice and use the PIL to sort of do that instead of fighting a case. It should be more like trying to enlighten them and try to make them aware of the real desperation of the situation, so that they understand and allow them to work from home.
Yeah, and
Okay.
in addition, I would also say that maybe you should approach Basavaraju, who's the state commissioner for
Yeah,
persons
I
with
think
disability,
yeah. I think that's
and use
CPPD
his
is the best.
because he's very sensitive and he's very good. So
Yes.
you could probably, he could probably help you find a solution for this.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
there was
I have a
somebody who
question.
was wanting to speak.
Yeah,
I
Siddharth.
have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Subramani, Siddharth here.
Hi.
Okay.
Mm.
Hi. How are you doing? Okay, this is now more a question directed to your area of work, journalism.
Right.
Yeah. Now with the pandemic, I mean, we've seen a lot of newspapers going under. Yeah.
Yeah.
You obviously belong to a group that has got a legacy of 100 years and so on. I mean, so you've been able to sustain yourself as a group. But what do you see the fate of journalism today? A and B, I mean, do you think, journalism is here to stay in its true traditional form, or is that going to now completely go to the other side in the form of going completely digital? What's your take on
Let me
this?
tell you, it's already going digital. For example, you have platforms like medium.com, where
Okay.
experts are going to write, the experts go there to write about the subject areas, and it could be
Yeah.
politics, or it could be either psychology or anything. You have a
Sure.
range of subjects there. So already I see that it's getting digital and it's getting
Right.
monetized. If you go to Medium, and then if you're part of the Medium partner program,
Okay.
and if you don't reside in India, I mean, you
Okay.
can earn. Because why I say
Uh-huh.
this is because they have a very funny kind of a distribution system that doesn't allow the platform through which they distribute is not operational in India. So you can't get your money
Okay.
if you're writing from India. But otherwise, there is a
Right.
fantastic opportunity wherein you can sort of write and sustain yourself. That's one thing.
Okay.
And podcast is another thriving area. So it is getting even for inside my own newspaper, as I was mentioning.
Yeah.
The need is more towards getting digital. In fact, we have our stated policy right now is digital first.
Right.
That's
Right.
Deccan
Right.
Herald's
Right.
motto right now. So
Yeah.
so I feel that it's going to go digital, and
Hmm.
people have smartphones in their hands. They don't need
Right. Right.
physical papers.
They don't
And
need a physical
COVID
copy. Yeah.
is another discouraging factor, because if you there
Absolutely.
was
Absolutely. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
it is going rapidly digital, and there
Hmm.
are monetization opportunities even for us.
And
Okay. Okay.
and moving
Thanks.
away
Yeah.
from print also is environmental, pro environment
Save trees,
also.
yeah, absolutely.
Save trees.
Save trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 No. No. Okay. I think that answers my question for now. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, let's take a little further. Do you see a lot of churn? Do you see a lot of friends in the? Colleagues who've been kind of asked to stay at home rather than work from home now? I mean, who've been laid off?
Layoffs have happened. Okay, that was the reality. That was the situation probably in April, May, because there were a lot of uncertainties about working somewhere. But
Yeah.
there are, as I was telling you, there are lots of people have gone out and started their own news outlets, in the sense, not in a big way, not as a company,
Well,
but writing blogs.
right.
So there are people who know how to sort of get their sources, get their news, which is still valued in the industry. So they can still sell their services. It's not as if
Mhm.
not getting regular salary sort of necessarily shutting their opportunities to work.
Yeah. No, because see, as you may know, I run a PR firm, and I'm
Yes.
seeing lots of publications slowly. I mean, especially in the lifestyle sector, slowly closing shop, and that's very discouraging because we have a symbiotic relationship. I mean, between PR agencies and the
and
media,
and
so
the,
to
the
speak.
journalists, yeah, yes, I can understand.
Yeah, and then when you see people, I mean, losing jobs and so on and so forth, I mean, it's getting a little scary because you wonder where the future of your own, your own work is going to take you 5 years, 7 years down the line.
See, there are
I
two
mean,
kinds of
because
things here.
every third guy on the street is a social media junkie, if you know what I mean.
I know, I understand. No, I get the point.
Yeah.
But if you are, for example, I'll tell you, I can give you clear-cut examples. See, even
Mm.
inside journalism, even inside the publications, it does not mean that
Yeah.
because you work for a publication,
Yeah.
you have fine-tuned your skills, or you are sort of focused about what you want to do. When you
Right.
don't have that clarity, and
Yeah.
you merely use the job as a kind of a cushion to sort of move on. So
Yeah.
those days have
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
See, the
Yeah.
age of job security is gone, whether it's for the
Correct.
people with
Correct.
disability, people with blindness, or even in a general sense, it's gone.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm.
what remains here is how you sustain yourself with the skills that you have, and how you make
Yeah.
your skills more appealing to whoever wants to get it. For
Sure,
example,
sure.
today the farmer protest is happening. I
Yeah,
see a lot of journalists, especially this P. Sainath, who has actually
right.
become an expert in rural India.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
on
Yeah.
demand. He goes
He's
into
on
every
demand.
channel.
He's on,
Yeah,
yeah, he's on prime time every day. Yeah,
every day, because everybody wants
every
to
day.
understand the farmers. We are living in the city, nobody
Absolutely.
understands the farmer. So
Yeah.
if you have a very saleable, very specific skill, you always find a
Mm.
platform to display it and sell it. Unfortunately,
Right,
what's
right.
happening is also we are not generalized. Sort of a skill set won't help here.
I
We
think
have to be more
today we
specific.
are living in such a volatile environment that it's very, very important for us to garner multiple skills. We can't say that we only know one thing.
Yeah.
Those times are past. We can't do that anymore.
Mm. Mm.
Just taking off from what Subbu and Siddharth were saying, I was just thinking that somebody who's got a passion for, say, music. I'm just taking an example.
Yeah.
Who has done extensive reading and understanding of music. For example, you, Siddharth, you have a passion for jazz music.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
nothing stops you from doing a series of podcasts
Yeah.
on jazz music, maybe understanding jazz music or jazz music over
Yeah.
the years
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
And you will find
Right.
that there
Right.
would be
Right.
takers, and maybe people will be willing to pay for it also.
Right.
So
Down the
it's
line.
question
Yeah.
of the extent to which you know,
Yeah.
the extent to which you know the subject, which that's where I talked about more reading and more in-depth understanding of your passionate area. And
Right.
there will be
Right.
people to
Right.
listen. Now today, for example, there are a number of people who do podcasts on things related to COVID, on immunity,
Yeah.
immunity
How
business,
to
Yeah.
survive
how to
COVID.
survive
Yeah.
COVID, and people are making money on that.
No, I'm listening to a guy called, I don't know if you've heard of him, George, but you must. I think I told you about him, a guy called Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you
Now,
mentioned this. Yeah.
he's one of the most famous podcasters in the world. Subramani, you can listen to him as
Yes,
well.
yes, I've heard of
Yeah,
him.
Joe,
Yes.
you've heard, yeah, I mean, and he's, I mean, the amount of wealth he's amassing on a yearly scale is unbelievable. He's got something to say on so many topics. I mean, it might be interesting to you, it might not, but I mean, he's got audiences that, I mean, one podcast of his has, viewerships of 10 million, 3 million, 2 million, 500,000. I mean, basic stuff. So, I
and
mean,
and
podcasting is the way to go. Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
and for the just to simplify the word podcast is just
Mhm.
an audio recording.
That's right.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
an audio recording. You can record on your phone. There are people
yeah.
who travel and they see something, they speak about it on the phone and upload it as a podcast. Or
Right,
they
right,
have an
right.
experience. They travel. They have an experience. They put it up on podcast.
Yeah,
So podcast
yeah,
is
yeah,
basically
yeah, yeah.
an audio blog in a manner of speaking. And
Right,
yeah,
right, right,
But
so
right,
Siddharth,
right.
you're right about the M&E sector being the worst hit, actually. One of the worst hit,
Hmm,
the
hmm.
entertainment sector.
Really badly hit.
Yeah. I'm going to go on to something more serious. I have a comment from one of our participants, Sunny Fernandez, who joins us from Goa. He's saying in Goa, the jobs for visually challenged are very less or non-existent. I have just moved back from Mumbai in November due to health issues. We don't have any NGOs working for the blind in Goa with regards to getting a job. What is the way forward, he wants to know, if any of us have any ideas.
We
yeah,
just discussed all that, because if you go online, see, I'll tell you, if you go online researching about the kind of work that you want to do, there is always the opportunity to work from remote, or work on a project basis. You do some service or a project, and you get paid for it. Such opportunities are out there in plenty. So that is the solution, because it doesn't constrain him, because whether it Goa or sometimes I used to jokingly tell my colleagues that it doesn't matter whether I sit in Chennai or Atlanta or Antarctica. If I have a connection, I can do the editing or writing from anywhere. And
That's
editing and interviewing is also not tough these days, because you'll have to get people on the phone and then do it, because that's safe, and also that's the only possible thing in the lockdown period. So that's the answer.
so
Wherever you are.
a quick question to Sunny Fernandez. What were you doing in Mumbai? and what are you actually, what is your qualification? What are your interest areas? Maybe you can share that, and maybe you could probably throw up some ideas right now.
Sunny, I have unmuted you. Can you unmute yourself and and participate in the conversation, please? Yeah, I think.
I think he's keying in his questions, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had
can
written
you?
one. He had written a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wait if he
So
responds. Yeah.
I think Murli Padmanabhan is wanting to ask something.
Yeah, yeah. Murli, I have unmuted you. Please go ahead and unmute from your end.
There are two others who have raised their hands also.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Sunny. This is Sunny. Yeah. Hi, Sunny.
Yeah. Hi. Right. So the thing is that I was working in the BPO industry in Mumbai, and I've done
Yeah.
my BBA. I've done my BBA graduation, and I did work in the hotel line in Goa for about 2 years, and then I moved into Mumbai. I worked in the BPO industry there for approximately 4 years, and then I met an accident which I lost my eyesight. So I'm a person who's seen both
Right.
sides of the world basically. So the only
Right.
issue what happens, I lost the job during the COVID situation, and now since I had a health issue recently, I had resigned from Tech Mahindra because I was with the BPO wing, but due to a health issue where I had fallen down due to a low BP, I had to come back home. So what I look in the Goa environment is that the job opportunities are very less. And I did approach some NGOs, but then they were saying that in Goa there are no much options. You have to move out of Goa, and that was the end of the story, basically, what they've told me.
Okay. Yeah. So Sunny, a couple of thoughts straight away.
Mm.
One is now that you've come, meaning you've come to Goa and you probably want to stay on in Goa. One is, why don't you get back in touch with Tech Mahindra and see if you can operate for them from Goa. That's one. Two is, while earlier in the conversation when Subramani was talking, I thought when he was talking about the gig economy, I was actually thinking of, like for example, you seem to be, meaning you worked in the BPO industry and you have a reasonable command over conversation skills and so on. You could actually offer a company, not as a BPO, but you could say somebody who is selling some service, or it could be a tourism kind of product, it could be some kind of a activity kind of thing in Goa, whatever is happening, you could probably volunteer and say, look, I'm happy to make calls on your behalf and get you clients, people to visit yours and use your service. Now these are things that you should think of. That's what I said. You need to kind of be alive to the needs of companies and business people and services around you, and see if you sitting at home can actually offer them something which will bring them revenue, and they will be willing to pay you for it. So start thinking in those directions also.
Okay.
So Siddha, I mean, sorry, Sunny, what's happening is that, see, the traditional parameters of jobs have gone now. Okay.
Exactly.
If you're going to search a job in a traditional way, it's very likely that you are going to hit a dead end. So the best thing would be to sort of look at what you have, the skills that you have, and how to monetize them. I think that's the best way to approach this. And initially, you may hit up a few obstacles, but see, believe me, it happened to me because I wanted to be a journalist. I was like you. I was seeing for some time, and when I turned 18, I became blind. So when 1998, when I wanted to become a journalist, I didn't get a job straight away. What happened was I had to contribute as a freelance writer, and I continued like this for 5 years.
Okay.
And I was earning out of what I was contributing, so it wasn't as if I wasn't earning. I was earning enough to get my sister married off, so mind you.
Okay.
It was that good money that I got. And
Okay.
it took time for people to understand that I could work. once that kind of a knowledge, that kind of understanding set in, I found a job. So my advice to you is like, probably you should look at crystallizing your skills and the ones that you can sell. Once you sell, I'm sure some permanent solution will come up. Maybe you can set up a sort of a third party startup which can actually do the lot of BPO work for other startups in tech industry, or maybe even a big company. You can sort of take it as a contract and do it on your own. These opportunities are very likely to happen in future. So it's important that you kind of do a self analysis very quickly, and then get on to sort of getting the opportunities for yourself.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks.
But Sunny, you said you worked in the hotel industry also.
Correct. That's true. That was when I was sighted. That was when I had my eyesight.
What did you do? What part of the hotel were you involved
I
with?
was at front desk for the travel and tourism for Taj Hotels.
Okay. So you don't see any opportunity of, because you're in a tourist state like Goa, don't you see any opportunity in the hotel industry that you could maybe tap on? Maybe just help out with just travel bookings and stuff, sitting with a computer, laptop at home.
Yeah, but then I have to get the right openings. I say, because right now the situation, to be very frank, the industry is very bad right now. Because
That of course, yeah.
Because I have a relative who has a guest house, but the situation is that it's like they have approximately 8 to 10 rooms, out of which in a day it's like once in 3 days they might have 1 or 2 guests.
No, that's true. This hospitality industry is very badly hit.
Sunny, I was just thinking while all of this conversation was going on. Now, Goa, you have the big hotels, you have resorts, and you also have this little the kind of houses, kind of people opening up their house and having bed and breakfast kind of thing. If you take stock, this is just an idea. I'm not asking you to do this, but if you just take stock of maybe 20 such bed and breakfast options in Goa, and then start writing about them on social media.
Okay.
Giving details in terms of, and tell them you can call you and you can tell these 10, 20 guys that you are looking at promoting them and writing this, and then have an understanding where they would kind of pay you when they start getting business.
Yeah, you can do it free for the first 3 months.
Yeah. And what
do
happens
it
is,
free for the first 3 months. Yeah.
So when you do it free, and when things start happening, you not only will you build a credibility for yourself, you also will get to understand the space. And as you start doing it, newer ideas will come in, newer thoughts will come in. You can add on elements to it, and soon you will find that you have to employ people to take this idea forward.
Yeah, instead of
explore. This is the time for you to explore possibilities and try them out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, shall we go to Murli now?
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Shruti.
Yeah,
hi, George. Hi, Subramani, and hi, everyone. It's interesting, George, to you for this kind of very interesting, innovative idea of getting into this kind of conversation, which is very much needed for this hour. We are moving away from the traditional way of commemorating the world is a so-called Disability Day. Thanks for that. And it's a very, very interesting conversation I was listening to. And Subbu, particularly, I want to know from you, what's a key takeaway from this, the lessons we learned from this COVID? Plus, what's your kind of message to fellow people with the disabilities, particularly the visually impaired friends? Because we are all still stuck with the status quo sort of mindset, vis-a-vis employment, whatever. So, and we are still, this conversation, I think we are taking them to the margins of the mainstream.
Right.
So,
okay.
what's your key message?
All right. Okay. Now let me start. Let me give my message with an analogy. So far, we were, a fish in a fish tank. Because if you want to imagine, working for an organization or working at a workplace as a fish tank, we were fish in a fish tank. We were comfortable, no problems at all about it. You get your monthly salary, and no particular pressure on you to sort of upskill, rapidly upskill, think on your feet. But now what happens is this fish tank has somewhat fallen into a big ocean, and all the comfort of the space that it provided has been broken. Now we are in the open sea. Okay, it might look scary to us because we don't know. It looks very unfamiliar to us initially, and we don't know how to survive. But let me assure you that there are thousands and thousands of fish varieties out there who have been surviving like this for a long time. So
alongside the whales.
yes, alongside the whales, the sharks, the dangers, and also the opportunities. See, there are.
Yeah.
See, in any situation, I don't have to tell us, because we have faced a lot of challenges in the past. So there are always challenges and opportunities. So the opportunities for us is that you can live your passion and earn for it. I think George's friend Arsha Bogle, who I happened to meet when I was a journalist, he once told me that what's so wonderful about your job. I asked him. He said, "This is not a job. This is my passion. The best thing about it is I do what I like and I'm getting paid for it." So that's exactly how I can define the opportunities out there. If you're going to ask me, are there not any challenges? I can say that there are challenges. Tell me where life, one instance in life where there's no challenge. There's always challenge. And one thing is, if you get used to surviving in the wider ocean called the online world, you learn how to sidestep the challenges. That's going to only make you stronger. It's not going to make you weaker in any way. And even if you're going to fall down once, you learn how to get up and dust off and move on. That's something that you learn. So life in COVID may have locked you down, may have given you a lot of stress. You may have lost your job, but mind you that you are in the ocean, and ocean also throws up lots and lots of opportunities for you. That's the positive message that I'm giving. And your second,
Subramani, I have to interrupt you. I have to interrupt you here for a second, please. You said that there's this ocean of opportunities, and this ocean is the so-called online world. Now, for many people who are listening in, and many who are not listening in too, but would like to know, I mean, where do you see this ocean of online opportunities? I mean, let's be real about it.
Right, okay, I'll tell you. Let me start from my own industry. Okay, let me start what happens to me. See, there are people out there who provide services. For example, there is a guy who kind of curates all the advertisements about writing opportunities and gives it to you as an email. Suppose if you are a guy who has lost your job as a journalist, you would find it useful, because he tells you right from New York Times to Wall Street Journal to one neighborhood newspaper in Arizona. He gives all kinds of opportunities, and also how much they pay you.
Okay.
So the thing is, you should know where to look. See, I tell you, if you belong to a certain industry, this comes very instinctively to you. We are not completely new to internet, right? I mean, we have been operating this for quite a long time. So I feel that if you know where to look, I mean what kind of a search term to put on Google and search about your industry. For example, if you're a writer, if you're an author, you put literary agents, or literary. How do I find a literary agency? The world is in your hand. You don't really have to even ask anybody for information. It is out there for you to find. So I feel that that's again, how best you're going to use it, or how best you're going to tap the opportunities out there, it depends on your two things. Okay, I'll tell you. One is, as George was mentioning earlier, communication is absolutely key, because it's not, again, I wouldn't say that English is a very generalized term. I have learned, I tell you, what I have learned is exactly translating your idea into a sentence, whatever that is. For example, I want something. If you want something, you should learn to say, I want something, and then learn not to beat around the bush. Learn not to be very circuitous about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is these are the number two. Again, number two is also learn how to address a certain crowd. For example, if you're writing to people in the United States, there is a way
Right.
to write. If you're writing to
Yeah.
somebody in Delhi, a
Yeah.
bureaucrat, there is a way to write to him. So there are ways of writing to people. So you got to
Yeah.
learn the nuances of communication, not just
Sure.
general
Sure.
English, but nuances of communication.
Right.
George himself is a good example. He knows how to talk to different kinds of crowds. So that you take his
That's
example.
true.
You take his example. So I feel that you have to be sure-footed. By the way, you can't afford to feel diffident. What happens most of the times. I value self-discovery and self-assurance as two very important uh, areas to look at this point in time, because if you don't believe that you have something to offer, then you won't find an opportunity. Okay.
No,
So the
I
problem
totally
is not
agree.
with the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
You can blame the world, but the problem is not with the world. The problem is with you. You first if you're undecided about which kind of a brand of jean that you want to buy, and you enter a showroom, it's very likely that you'll be circling around the place without choosing one, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be sure about what you want, and then what you can
I
offer.
understood what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Now, one quick business idea, Siddharth. You master the art of Google search and tell the world that pay $500, I will teach you how to Google search over Skype. You will find that there are many takers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to know what is your forte.
Yeah, and you can create your forte depending on. And I think these are not ready-made solutions. And I think one of the words I think which Subramani used was you got to go on the path of discovery.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, there are two other people who I believe have raised their hands.
Sorry, I'm just interrupting here. I was, I don't want to sound like a pessimist here. While we are talking about, online businesses and other ideas, I just also feel, we're also talking about digital literacy, but because, as Ivy, we're always taking calls from people and, we write stories. We're actually sort of, talking to a lot of people and we know the, reality on ground. Like we have people who don't have access to even devices right now. And they call us and they want to have at least a smartphone to start off with, and then maybe a laptop. And there are many requests like that sometimes, it gets even difficult to find donors or, volunteers to do that sort of a stuff for our clients. So I'm just saying that, right now, while this all sounds really nice, but, at the same time, it's like visually impaired people, especially the larger audience. There's so many more people out there.
We get the point. We get your point, Shabnam.
Yeah.
This is something which
George, can I answer?
Let me just finish and then you can also answer. Subramani and I had discussed this a couple of days ago when we were planning this session.
Right.
And the point is, this session is not meant for the entire universe. There is a different session required to deal with the challenges that they face here. But a lot of the people who are educated, who have access to phones, who have access to laptops, are also struggling. Either they have been laid off, they have not found a job. They do not know what to do, what to think. And I think this conversation was, and I mentioned this in the beginning also, that this conversation is not a universal thing. We are talking to people like the people who are on this call right now. You're right. A person who is living in, say, a place like Buhari, or what's it called, Burari, or a place like Muzaffarpur, who does not have access to proper internet connectivity, who does not have access to a phone. In a family of 10, share one mobile phone, no tablets, no computers. For that, this conversation might sound out of place. But having said this, there is a client of ours who's totally blind, who has been using a laptop. He's acquired a laptop by taking loan and all that. and he has been singing bhajans, and he gets invited to sing bhajans at different places, and he's been using his technology, and again he's using his skills and strength to actually eke out a living for himself. So I think what we're really talking about is a mode of thinking, which probably the audience on this call probably might be able to understand more easily and accept more easily. But I think the mode of thinking is the same even for people who are in the section that you're talking about. But the challenges for them probably are of a greater scale. But saying that there is a problem and saying that I'm in an abject situation is not going to help anybody. So there needs to be some kind of positive thinking, an urge to do something about it. An urge, the biggest urge might be for them to call and discuss their situation with somebody, like many of them are calling us. But and then willing to act on ideas, because many people call, they discuss their problem and then do nothing about it, thinking that it's impossible. And I think that is what makes the difference between the boys and the men. There are many people I know who have literally risen from the ashes to actually, discover themselves and do something in life. So I think at the end of the day, we cannot curse our circumstances. Of course, the government has a responsibility, but nobody else has a responsibility. The biggest responsibility lies in our own hands. And it's easy for me to sit here and say this, but I think that is also a real truth. Because otherwise, if you don't do anything about it, if you don't even explore as to what can be done, you don't go out and meet people, you don't talk to people. I've been in situations in life where I've looked at it is looked as an impossible situation, and my own mind is not coming up with any kind of idea or a way forward. In such situations, I get up, go out and talk to people. I brainstorm. And then suddenly you find one day you're talking to somebody and he says something which triggers off something for you. And then you're willing to invest time and energy into it. And you suddenly find that it works for you. So I think these are small dynamics and triggers in life which a lot of us ignore and don't even take seriously. So I think that's the idea of this session also is not to give concrete solutions to anybody. It's about getting people to start thinking in a particular direction. Even there are a lot of people who take part in these IVA encounters and various webinars around the country, who are actually listening because they are looking for. Many of them probably listen for the sake of listening, but then there are lots of people who are in the quest for ideas or direction that they might get. And I think one of the points which one of us said was, we are living in a global sphere of opportunities today, but many of us are not taking. Like Sunny, for example, who spoke to us a short while ago, he was just limiting himself to Goa, for instance. While he's sitting on a tool which gives him access to the entire world. So, and everybody's situation is different. So everybody needs to start thinking. The only thing we can say just now is to think positive, think ideas. If you don't have any of the ideas, go out and talk to people. And many will discourage you, but there would be some who would kind of give you some triggers and prompts for you to get going. So I think that is my answer to your question.
Subramani, you wanted to respond to that?
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is definitely going to inspire you. So listen carefully. About a month and a half back, I happened to interview for my podcast this organization called Center for Budget and Policy Studies. One of the projects that they were involved was in Bihar, about 10 schools where they were educating about 800 girls in gender equality and so on. And they're all government schools, by the way. And when there was one sort of instructor who used to go from school to school and teach them, and suddenly the lockdown came. Okay, though they completely lost touch with them. And you know what they did? They went back to their drawing board. Of course, they're all PhDs and experts in that particular set of organization. and they came out with a solution, which is to teach them by postcard. So what they do is, they used to print a bunch of postcards, so that the girls can not only understand the lesson, but also answer the question and send the postcards back to them. Okay, so they did this primarily because they realized through their research that there is a gender inequality about access to mobile phones, access to digital devices. In some of the places, this particular project, the person involved in the project was telling me that girl children in a family don't have access to mobile phones. So how grave you think that situation is, and how they bail themselves out of a situation like that. So I feel that if you look at it as a problem, probably it's going to bog you down. But if you're going to look at it as an opportunity for discovering something completely new, then it'll excite you. I think that's what we should learn from COVID, because if you allow COVID to sort of bog you down, it's much easier to get bogged down and then feel defeated. Whereas it suits for organizations and also people. So CBPS is one organization. You might like to listen to that podcast, or probably you'd like to check out their website, how they did it.
On the same thread, we at iWay, for example, when we started the financial year, we had planned to go out and hold workshops with visually impaired young people to do pretty much what we are doing just now. And Shruti will vouch for this. And in April, we were wondering, where do we go now? Because we're all kind of working from home and we can't move. And then that's when we came up with this bright idea of iWay Encounters, where we not only are going to people, we are speaking to people from different parts of India, and we are also able to further collaborate with people and go deeper into different states where we want to do further work. So it's a question of thinking solutions, as Subramani very correctly said. Problems are there. Problems should not should not be what defines our course of action. It should be the solutions that we seek that actually defines what we want to do for going forward. And I think that's an important philosophy which everybody needs to take on board. It could be easily said for us, many of us, but I think that's one way forward. Otherwise, we can wait for our entire lifetime for the government to come to you, and the government might not come to you.
True. I'm going to, in the interest of time, take the last question of this evening from Bhava.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, madam. I'm Bhava. My name is Saravanan. I'm calling from Salem in Tamil Nadu. I'm having to get a good discussion for this past couple of hours. Very happy to enjoy this moment. And I also want to know, we have discussed many of the matters. I also want to discuss about the various business opportunities that a VA can perform with or without the help of, without minimal help of the sighted persons. Can you furnish something, some business opportunities related to that?
There will not be a comprehensive list put up, but again, it has a lot to do with what your passion might be. We can tell you about some of the businesses that the VIs have been doing.
Yes.
We, on this iWay Encounters, for example, a few weeks ago, we had a gentleman who's blind, who runs a travel company.
Yeah, very nice.
There's another gentleman we know who runs in Guwahati, runs a kind of a telephone DTH recharge center with a cyber cafe. There are also people who run shops. There are also people who run, there is a gentleman in Hyderabad, for example, who runs a company which does packaging, packaging for various industries. And then there are people who even the whole business of just sharing information could be a business that, like for example, I was telling Siddharth about the fact that if you are extremely good with doing a Google search, you could actually send out a message that if you want to master the art of Google search, pay me 500 rupees, come on Skype or on Zoom, and I will teach you. And so it's, I think it has, and there could be many, meaning, some of the businesses people are already doing, but there are many businesses which still there is a need, but people are not available to meet those needs. So, but so I think, as Subramani said some time back, I think it's important for you to kind of figure out as to what you want to do, what are you interested in, what are you passionate about, and then see whether that can be converted into a business.
That is the thing. For the business, the basic knowledge about the business is mandatory.
Yes.
But that is in normal situation, especially in this COVID situation, many of them, due to the layoffs, they have switched over to, I'm telling the normal citizens, they have switched up to vegetable sellers and roadside restaurants like that. Many of them, that is sighted persons has done to shifted to many smaller chota businesses. But in the case of VI, that is the thing. As you told, we are having that is many opportunities, but it is not clear to us. It is under the cloud. That is the thing. Under the cloud means it is not visible to us.
What you
Yes.
should do, that's what I said. There are two, three things. One is, see, you can do what is called a content business. Content is maybe you are an expert in a subject. For example, I'll tell you, there is a friend of mine who is good at filling up the IT returns. Okay, so I don't know the accessibility of the website, but I am reliably sure that it is fairly accessible. So what he does is he does the filing of returns for somebody,
Good.
and then gets $1,000 from that person. Okay,
Sure.
so that becomes a business. Second one is, if there are certain information that you have which probably other people don't have. For example, there was this person who talks about traditional food ingredients, where you can source them. Okay, that is a big issue. For example, you know about wasambu. Wasambu is one of the herbal ingredients that go into South Indian food making.
Yes, it is
So there
better
is a
for
person,
children's kids.
yeah, for children. So there is a guy who goes about finding out where you can get the best of the quality. Okay, and there are people who connect the traders. For example, the turmeric, Erode is the best place for turmeric. You whole of the country,
Yes.
you get best turmeric in Erode. So there are people who connect the traders with their purchasers in North India or West India or East India, and then they create a marketplace
Yes,
online,
sure.
completely online.
Sure.
These are the opportunities that we should look for. Number one is, you won't succeed in anything that you do. That's why I said you don't succeed in anything that you do. You will succeed on two grounds. One is, how much familiar are you with the business that you are considering? I mean, how close it is to your heart, how much you have learned, how much you have researched, how much you have learned. Okay. Number two is, do you have the infrastructure? For example, do you have connection with the buyers, the sellers, and what kind of content that you're going to have? How you want to market that? So these are some of the questions that you will have to answer to arrive at what exactly you want to do. So this is a self exercise. It's a very kind of self-discovery exercise that everybody should do, so that they will come to exactly what they want to do and how to monetize and market it.
Yes,
Okay, so that please do that exercise. If you have any problems, George is there, you can you can sort of write to us or something, and let's see how best we can help you.
As George is doing a better effort on everything, that is he is that is furnishing that hidden effects and all from our VA person, and he is giving a very good bright future. I am also requesting him. I am first congratulating for his effort. Next, I am also requesting him to open a business page and contacts along in the IVA. He can also allocate the separate part for links to business as you told, that is like a turmeric business, or there is a cardamom business like that, where we will get, that is creating the links will be a better part for a business, for running up a business. That also, if he is sharing, and who is having a, that is who has get a good good experience in the business, if he shares their mail ID or phone numbers, that it will be helpful to for many of us. Instead of going and requesting a job from somebody, if we are that is owning a business, or if we are giving some job opportunities to others, means we will be also satisfied, and we will be also satisfying others.
It's quite possible.
You are a man of my heart now, because we have been talking internally. We've been talking that, how long can people keep looking for government jobs or private sector jobs?
Yes.
Government jobs are there, but private sector jobs, most jobs are given on charity.
Yes.
And therefore, you might get your salary, but your dignity is compromised. So my personal view is, meaning I personally feel that entrepreneurship is something which has to be taken seriously.
Yes.
And that has not been taken seriously in this country. And
sure.
So I think that's an area which, meaning I think what you say makes a lot of sense. What do you do, Baba?
I am working as a software engineer.
Okay, you are a software engineer.
Yeah.
And in Salem itself, or your company?
No. I'm working in Bangalore. I'm working in payroll domain. That is the thing. As Subramaniam told, I am has a good exposure in payroll. That is IT returns, the salary related things, PF, ESA related things that I know very well. And another thing is, what I am feeling is, who are all working in the government sector, they are having job security. They are feeling safe. But in the private sector, nobody is having job surety or security. They are all in a dynamo condition. This month we are getting salary, next month may or may not be. Not in the next month. Whenever there is a instability only. So only I am asking that things. Why we have to depend upon others? We are having our own power. We are having our own suggestions. We have to create something. We can help others. Why we want to get the help from others? Why can't we help others?
Absolutely. And something that you said, PF, gratuity, and all these things, there are a lot of people who actually do not know much about it. They run organizations and they need advice. And that is something that people like you who have experience can definitely offer as a consultancy and charge for it.
That's the thing.
You could all, so these are all options which are available, which we don't normally think about. We all run towards job security and think that is the best thing for us. So anyway, these discussions can go on and on. Anybody else, Shruti? Thank you, Baba, for raising that issue.
One small thing. How about the stock market? I am zero in stock market. Is it stock markets will help the VA persons? They can step up their lives in stock markets. How much it is flexible?
No,
can
it's
you
very
throw some light on
very
it?
doable. It's very doable. This is Siddharth. It's
Then
very doable. It's very doable, but again, I mean, again, you have to understand the markets. You have to understand the financial markets. You have to understand how stocks move, how markets move, what are macro factors, what are the global cues, so on and so forth. So it's a study by itself. But it's not something
we
that
need
can't
not
be
to
done.
depend upon others to step up in the stock market at all. Yeah.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to depend on anybody. You just have to depend on your own
if I'm
skill
right,
sets.
if my memory serves me right, there are a lot of blind people who do this. Of blind people who are themselves.
I'm sure they do.
And there are accessible interfaces that people use. So people can work independently. But as Siddharth said, I think an awareness of the market needs to be there for you to be able to invest yourself. And then if you're going to invest on others' behalf, all the more sure that you need to be, otherwise the cops could be after you.
That is the thing. We need to dig something on it. We need to have a better analysis over the part. And I also want the George's guidance over it, because he is the right person. He has done many things. If he dig up this well, then that is the thing.
Maybe you can organize a session on how to run.
We can develop our own courageous. That is the thing. Courage is the main part of our life. That is the thing.
Right.
Earning is a fuel of our life. That in order to maintain the earning, that we have to develop our courage. That George has given many persons courageous. That is the thing. He can throw the light. He can dig the well. That is the thing. We are all along with him. He is not a separate person. He is a tree. He is like a banyan tree. So I want him to throw light over this area also.
I think it's time to say good night.
I think on that note we should close it. George, what do you say?
Yes, converted you into a
Before,
tree.
Before
I'm
I
going to
move
start
from
calling you banyan tree now.
Because nothing grows under a banyan tree, as we all
No.
know.
Banyan tree
Only
gives.
the banyan tree grows.
Banyan
George
tree
has
gives
got
a
a
shadow to
nickname
many.
now.
yeah,
George
before
has a
other,
nickname now.
before other nicknames crop up, let's close.
That is the thing. I waited for many situations to that is congratulate him, but this is the proper moment to congratulate him.
Well, thank you.
You unforgettably congratulated him.
Well, with several witnesses. Let me before we close. Let me thank all of you for having invested these 2 hours here and made this International Day of Persons with Disability an enjoyable day. And I think some new thinking probably has been spread.